Hello, everybody. Welcome to Facebook Live with Mel Rapozo. Today is actually Thursday, November 21st, here in Incheon, Korea. But it's Wednesday, November 20th, back home in Hawaii. Just wanted to say aloha. As you can see, I get my good friend here, Council Chair from the City and County of Honolulu, Ikaika Anderson, who was gracious enough to invite me on this sister city trip for the governments of Seoul and Incheon. Hi, Julie. First of all, can you guys hear me and can you see us?
Aloha.
Rowena, Lisa, Carlos, what's happening, guys? I'm gonna take off my glasses because the reflection is horrific. Anyway, Chucky, what's up, buddy? How's Korea?
Cold.
Friggin' cold.
Cold.
Aloha, everybody. Rolling, what's up? Arnold, Nathan, Christian, what's up? What's up? What's up? Ikaika is obviously the Honolulu City and County Chair, very popular, famous guy, and we've been here since almost a week right now. We're going home tonight, actually. It's 2:00 p.m. here, and we fly out tonight on Hawaiian Airlines. We leave at 10 p.m., so we got a few more hours here to enjoy this wonderful cold.
Hawaiian Airlines, your favorite, no?
Hawaii, yeah, no, we're going to talk about Hawaiian in a little bit as well. Hey, what's up, Dwayne? But we wanted to chat a little bit about Korea and the relationship that we in Hawaii have with Korea, not just in government, but in family relationships. We have extended families. You know, most of us know someone that is either married to a Korean person, but the relationships have been around for decades and decades and decades. Brian, my brother from the Big Island. Wendy, what's up? Kolohe Kapu, aloha, man. I hope you're feeling better. Sharon, Bitos. What's up, Bitos? Tom, aloha, man. Yoboseyo. Yes, sir. I heard a lot of that this trip, you know. Pali Napa. Hey, Napa, we got to grab Ray and come take a trip to Korea. The food is great. Hey, Zaylin, what's up? Oh, there's my wife.
Oh, there's a Patsy. How's it? Now she knows we're alive at
least.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. I was just talking to Ikaika's wife a little while ago, and we need to get over there and go grab a dinner with them. Thank you both for all you do for Hawaii. You see that? That's so cool, man.
So people in Kauai are very loving, aren't they? Gotta bring some of that to Honolulu.
Anyo, haseo. Absolutely. Hey, Patricia, how's it going? How's it going, guys? Yeah, you know, it's been about 30 years since I was in Korea while I was in the military. And back then, it really was a third world country. And although I did make it up to Seoul and Incheon back in those days, what I found is night and day, and we'll get into a little bit, but I'm in, all right, Napa. The technology, what's going on here in South Korea, especially in Incheon and Seoul, is very impressive. And I gotta say, the perception that I had prior to coming on this trip was that I understood that there would be some improvements, but not to this level. I got to tell you, it is probably more sophisticated in their governmental systems than we have in Hawaii. What's up, Erica? Did I drink soju? Yes. Did I drink a lot of soju? Yes. These Korean leaders up here hosted our dinners. And,
so gracious.
That's amazing.
Gracious hosts.
And soju is part of their culture. And I got to tell you, though, land of the kimchi.
We had a lot of good kimchi up here, too.
The real stuff. I mean, I was trying to get some home, but I'm not going to be able to. But hey, Terry, what's up? Paul Pancho. Aloha, you guys. But these guys, the business acumen, everything about this place is just fantastic. Makes you want to start a business over here and partner with these guys. But we spent some time in Incheon, met with the council and the mayor, and then went on to Seoul. And hey, what's up, Sonny? Jan, Wally, what's up, Wally? The best kimchi there. Absolutely, it's
amazing.
Yeah, just
the
a lot
food
of
here has been amazing too.
I still full from breakfast. We didn't eat lunch. And we're going to eat at the airport for dinner, though, tonight. So I don't know. I think
that airport is a city in and of itself.
Yeah,
so.
But I heard the Taco Bell there is really good. The McDonald's here, believe it or not. I'll be posting some pictures when I get back home. Hey, Iris, what's up? But the McDonald's here has some specialty. You know, like we have the McRib and We get the taro,
And the spam.
Spam and Portuguese sausage. Well, up here they have the
They have a
shrimp,
bulgogi burger.
a
They have a
bulgogi.
shrimp burger.
shrimp cheeseburger. It's just, hey Jay, what's up, buddy?
And you order from a kiosk.
Yeah, all kiosk over here. Again, the
And
technology
the folks
here.
in the kitchen just bring the food out and serve it to you at the area where at home we would go and pay a cashier.
Right. It's amazing. Hey, Doreen, Chris, what's up, Chris? Yeah, so the reason, again, we were here, and I'm going to let Ikaka explain a little bit, but I'm looking at my notes, sorry. We started off in Incheon, met with, we started off in Incheon, then we went over the first day, and then Seoul. We went to this place in Incheon, which is the IFEZ, Incheon Economic Free Economic Zone. And this is what they've been doing for the last, I don't know, couple decades or whatever. Well, no, not that long, but a while. They get what they call mud flats, where the low tide is so low that the ocean goes out. Anyway, they've backfilled, and they're creating a city. Or cities here, it's like a triple city structure, and they're building it from the ground up with amazing technology, safety, security of the residents and visitors, surveillance systems. At any particular place that you're at, you can, on the poles there's an SOS button. The cameras are pretty much in the public areas anyway, are running live. We went to the control center and watch these employees. And in fact, while we were there was an alert that went off. That's pretty trippy, but it was a false alarm. Hey, Chala, what's up? Bethany. I guess my point is this: these guys are developing cities from the ground up, not trying to retrofit, which many of us try to do. But it's like all the bells and whistles attached. So that was one of the. I was just so impressed with that. And the control center was incredible. They went to Seoul, and this is where I want Ikaka to share. We can learn. I know a lot of people criticize these trips when leaders go to different jurisdictions, but Honolulu, City and County of Honolulu has an amazing bus system. Probably one of the best in the country. But there's a company in Korea that can enhance that system. So that was one of the objectives of this trip. And I'll let Ikaka explain it, but what we saw is kind of like a well-oiled machine as it relates to transit here in South Korea, more so in Seoul. So anyway, Ikaka, take it away, bro.
Mel, thank you very much for inviting me to talk story with our friends back on Kauai. We're here with a delegation from the Honolulu City Council that includes my colleague, Council Member Tommy Waters, my Chief of Staff, Andrew Malahoff, my Deputy Chief of Staff, Alan Teixeira, and our Director of International Affairs, Brad Kitsu, and Mel, and our gracious host, Mrs. So Suk-ko, to pay a visit to two of our sister cities, Seoul City and Incheon City. We've been friends with both of these cities combined for decades now.
40.
One of the cities, 40-something
yeah,
years.
Like incredible.
But there are so many folks back home who are Korean, as Mel was saying. Folks have either married into the Korean heritage. Folks are doing business in Korea with Koreans. And they've really provided a lot to the fabric of our community. We are here as guests of Incheon City. So Incheon City was gracious enough to pay for our accommodations, our ground transportation, as well as our meals while we're here. We provided our airfare. But Mel is here as the former chair of the Kauai County Council. I felt that his government experience as well as his private sector experience would really enhance our delegation and hopefully give an opportunity for Seoul City and Incheon City to consider a similar sister city relationship with Kauai County in the future and bring business opportunities to the people of Kauai. And this was really great. Mel paid his own way to get up here. And again, the city of Incheon picked up everything else. So this cost the taxpayers of Kauai County nothing to have Mel as part of this delegation, but we're hopeful that with his leadership and his credentials, that he'll be able to bring back some really, really awesome business opportunities for the people of Kauai. And these sister city relationships have done a lot to help with the economy in Honolulu. As Mel was mentioning, we are looking to partner with ITS, which is a private bus company here. Yeah, well, it's a bus company here in Korea that is affiliated with the government. And this system, much of it is available, the information is available in real time. So in Honolulu, you can take a look at our app, which is old technology, and try to figure out when the next bus is coming rather than having to sit there and wait for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or longer. But here in Korea, there are LCD screens at every stop. And the LCD screen tells you in real time where the next bus is. If you have the app on your phone, you can be sitting in your office going to look to see when the next bus is coming down to that bus stop. And say 10 minutes before the bus arrives, you leave your office, go downstairs, you're right there to meet the bus, you're not wasting any time. So we're hopeful that we can establish a pilot project with this company to start in a small area of Oahu, say Waikiki, and see how this would work, running folks between the Waikiki hotels and the airport for starters. And if this works out, then do a full-fledged RFP and see if this is a technology that we can introduce island-wide on Oahu. But this would be a solid benefit to the taxpayers of the city and county of Honolulu if we can get this up and running.
And the interest level of the South Korean or Incheon and Seoul governments to work with Hawaii, the same group that worked with Ikaika and his team are getting ready for the next group of government officials from China. You see, South Korea is going to be, or it is in fact, a very relevant country as it relates to business. Now, I've shared many of the Kauai products, the small products, you know, the salty wahinis and the Kauai shrimp, Kauai cookies, the chocolates from the Lidgate farms. There's much interest here to connect. I didn't even talk to these companies because, you know, obviously they didn't want to raise any false hopes. I had no idea what to expect, but I will tell you this, there is much interest, and now we've established connections thanks to Ikaika and his team that that hopefully we can connect these small businesses on Kauai with the right people here in South Korea and eventually get their products in the stores here. I'm actually very hopeful and optimistic. Again, hey, look, Bito said, how's it, Ikaika?
Hey, aloha, Bitos. Aloha, Patty. Aloha, Peggy.
Look at all you guys. Look at this. Aloha. Sorry, you guys. Kurt, what's up? Tony, Susan, Skyla.
How's it, Stephanie?
Stephanie, thank you, Ikaika, for your leadership. Stan, what's up? Carreros. Guys, Earl, look who's on. Andrew MK. That's your chief of staff.
That is Andrew.
Yeah, his chief of staff is watching. They actually went on. They went down to the Freedom Park and another place to go check out some of these cultural sites. I stayed back, obviously, with Ikaika to do this Facebook Live. So they're enjoying some of the sites before we leave, and we're here. So again, amazing opportunities here in South Korea, and I'm hoping that we can bring it back. I just really do want to thank Ikaika for inviting me. You know, I talked about this last week on last week's Facebook Live. Out of all the people in the state, or in the country for that matter, that he could have invited to join them, and he picked me. Now, I'm flattered, honored, and we have, you know.
Well, I've really enjoyed working with you over the years, Mel, on the Hawaii State Association of Counties Executive Committee, where we served together for a number of years. You were president of the executive committee for a while. We did have some tumultuous times, tenuous times, sometimes with some of our members.
Yeah.
But I always appreciated your ability to bring people together. And even when we had executive committee members who did have difficulty, not just getting along with, but sometimes working with one another, you always had that ability to bring people together. And I felt this would be a wonderful opportunity for Kauai County to have you here and see if we could bring some of these business opportunities back to the people of Kauai County with your leadership. You do very well working with people. People have a lot of aloha and respect for you once they get to meet you.
Yeah, once they get to meet me, that's the key.
Everybody in his delegation knew of Mel, but some of them didn't know Mel very well.
Yeah.
through this trip, they've had that opportunity, and everyone is in this delegation looks forward, Mel, to being able to continue working with you.
Well, hopefully, I don't know where my future will go, and but I can tell you this, that I am, regardless of what happens. I told you guys last week, right after we come back from Oregon, I'll make a formal announcement regarding our future political plans. But I definitely agree, or I believe that Kauai should join in with City and County Honolulu. Ikaika is willing to have that discussion, but that we should jump on board. And there is just too much opportunities for our small business. I'm not talking about corporate rich. I'm talking about the small companies on Kauai that could use this opportunity, because these are the decision makers. See, in Korea, yeah, it's a democracy, but if you don't have that connection, the business connections with the leaders, the government leaders, your shrimp ain't making it to the store. Your chocolates ain't making it to the store. So I hope that whoever is on the council next year, and when Incheon comes to Honolulu and visits, I'm trying to get them to come by Kauai, the leadership, and meet our leaders, that we take advantage of that. Again, I got nothing to gain out of this. I mean, except probably gain about 8 pounds.
At least.
But there are many companies on Kauai that could benefit from this. And again, just so stoked with this opportunity. But yeah, I mean, it's been a week, almost a week.
Been almost a week. I got to get back to the gym when we get home. All that food we ate, my goodness.
My Lord.
But some of the best food in the world is here in Seoul.
It's the street food. Yesterday we went.
The street food is amazing.
And of course, there's some stuff here that I did not touch. I refuse to eat.
Well, there was
he ate it. He tried it, and no, there's a limit.
One host that we had served skate as part of our meal. What skate is fermented fish.
Rotten.
It's
rotten.
Bottom feeding fish, and the way that it's fermented is the entire fish is thrown onto a haystack and left there for a few days. I didn't know how the stuff was made before I ate it, but I knew it was fermented fish, and they had said that. Our host said that the dish was brought to the table specifically for our delegation. My chief of staff ate it, and he ate it first. And I thought he was going to pass out.
He described it as grabbing an old gym sock, soaking it in ammonia,
and letting it sit for a week and then eating it through your nostrils.
I couldn't get past the smell, but hey, supposedly it's a delicacy.
So Tommy Waters and I took some and ate it. Wow, what an experience!
Yeah, forget it. One of the things, I realized in this trip that I'm actually old. A lot of the council members are young, the staffers are young, with bright futures ahead. Like hamha. No, man, I eat hamha, and I don't eat hamha, but I would eat hamha before I tried that skate.
Absolutely.
Hell no, that thing was bad.
Well, Mel, with all the happy birthdays you sing to people that have been sung to you, you're already 185 now.
Yeah, but it was weird because there's a lot. These guys are young. I mean, it's just young, and I'm just an old boy now. Son of a gun, man. Life, time flies. Yeah, Chris, exactly. So anyway. Again, I just wanted to share. Ikaika's going to be here. Gosh, we got a few more hours here in Korea. We'll make the best of it. And again, the connections we have made, the relationships we've established with the mayors of Incheon and Seoul. Ikaika has known them already. This is my first time. So, yeah, not like natto, because I won't eat natto either. But I think the skate might even be a little worse. Invite them to Kauai and host them. Get with the hotels to come. It is. I mean,
for government though, in the United States, it's not as easy as it is to spend money on foreign delegations.
You can imagine
but it's not as easy for American governments to host foreign dignitaries like international cities can. So we're hoping that we could put something together for a delegation from Incheon and Seoul City to visit Kauai. We, in Honolulu, will be hosting the Incheon City Council Chair and the Seoul City Council Chair at some point next year. I know in April we do have a delegation coming to Honolulu, and we're going to work with them to see if we can get them up to Kauai, even if it's only for a day or two. But we'd like to try to do that.
You know, some of our small companies on Kauai cannot produce the volume, or just doesn't have the demand for the volume to expand. But with an opportunity, or with a connection here in South Korea, that could be the genesis to expand their operations, get a bigger warehouse, hire more people. This is how it works. And I got, you know, the friendships though that we've made go way beyond the business connection. These real friends. We've made real friends that we've had a lot of fun. I mean, we had the mayor or the chair of Incheon Council laughing so much. We just had a good time, and so the relationships are real. The friendships are real, and it can only get better. So yeah, I intend to maintain that relationships and the communications with them. And
when these folks come to Honolulu for their sister city visit, we're certainly going to be letting Mel know, and Mel can hopefully pass some of that information on to Kauai County government leaders, and they can make a decision as to whether or not they want to be part. But if they do, we're more than happy to make that happen.
Thank you.
But Mel, you've made some awesome friends up here.
Good fun, yeah.
And looking forward to being able to build on that. Can only get better.
It's still kind of expensive though. I expected to see the prices here a little cheaper than they are, but they're it's just like pretty much any other. The food's cheap. The food is delicious and reasonable, but once you hit some of the street vendors. Just look at that's my brother, of course. Was just thinking, you guys are the future mayors of Honolulu and Kauai.
I'm not running for mayor this year, though.
Me neither. Stephanie says, if they come to Hawaii, I promise we'll support their visit to Kauai. I appreciate your vision. Stephanie is well connected as well, and we talked about this. My plan, and as I spoke to Mrs. Cole is a gem. She resides on Oahu. Her and her husband reside on Oahu, but she's been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, she splits time between Honolulu and
she has a place up here.
Here in Incheon. Her daughter is in government here in Incheon, as is her son-in-law, her daughter's husband.
Yeah, and she is. I talked to her about doing a product expo, a product show for Kauai, just for Mrs. Cole and her group. Obviously, inviting the Honolulu City Council to help share what they've done and get our products on the map. And I think because this is the difference that I see and what I've learned, and if I could correct me if I'm wrong, is that this government here budgets for these international relationships. Unlike, to an extreme level. City and County of Honolulu, they have a budget for international relationships, but these guys they spend the money because they want to expand. They want to welcome new business here.
And yes, Wendy, you can bargain with the street vendors. Yes.
Yeah, but you cannot bargain with
in the stores and in the hotels, no. But the street vendors in Namdaemun, which is a huge open market, similar to the swap meet at Aloha Stadium in Honolulu, but on a much larger scale. Yeah, you can bargain with those folks. They're more than willing to bargain.
Susan, it would be interesting to identify specific industry clusters that are ripe for potential pilot programs to achieve early wins and demonstrate proof of concept that set the stage. Thank you for your continuing to look out for the economy. Well, that's my point. These guys are, I got to tell you, in many sectors ahead. Yeah. They are ahead, and yet I think the economy right now here, as I'm told, is not doing that well. But that doesn't stop the government from moving forward and spending the money to improve the efficiencies of their cities. That is clean up here. It's
very
clean. It's clean.
They have public restrooms that, by all standards, are immaculate.
We went to that. You see, I had anxiety because we're gonna go on the road. We're gonna be here. Where's the next bathroom? Is it the
especially eating street vendors? Nobody knows what's gonna happen with that.
So so there was one yesterday. It was the only restroom available was the subway restroom, and I was kind of hesitant, but I had to go. It's amazingly clean and in fact
safe.
And very safe, very safe. So we can learn a lot. like they can learn a lot from us as well in other areas. Hospitality-wise, I don't know how you say aloha in Korean, but they got that spirit.
Oh, they do.
They're awesome. South Korea, like Japan, China, and the Philippines, help put the diversity in Hawaii, and doing business is a smart move. Well, it's a matter of saying it. Just saying it ain't gonna happen. We gotta do it, and we as the governments gotta assist in that. And I guess that's the point I'm trying to make. Let's see. Oh, Barry, Sean, Penny, awesome. Gladys, Belinda. Sadly, Kauai isn't getting the foreign visitors it used to. I work Kauai Island tours in LA. And again, as I stated last week, I wasn't so interested in bringing tourism to Kauai. I don't think we can accommodate much more tourism. That wasn't the purpose of me coming here. The purpose for me coming here was to increase our opportunities for our small business on Kauai to get their products here or services, and that was the vision. So yeah, I'm not so interested in getting more people here on Kauai, but I absolutely am interested in getting our small businesses an opportunity to expand and hire more people. And there's a lot of American products in the stores here. Why not a Kauai product or a Honolulu product? Korean Secret Service cut you off. Uh-oh. Did I get cut off? Am I still on? Can you guys see me and hear me? Press 1 if you can see me and hear me. I hope we didn't get cut off. Uh-oh. Did we? Hello?
This says we're still
Yeah, I think we're live.
I think we're okay.
No, we're on. Looks like we're on. Glad you folks are filling us in your trip. Mahalo. Okay, in with you on that. Okay, yeah. When we get back, like I said, I'll get with Stephanie and some of the other leaders on Kauai, and we'll put together this this product expo, whatever. And I just want to do what we can. Okay, thank you guys. Okay. I thought we got cut off. Okay, awesome. And I'm gonna tell you, man, I'm excited. I really am excited. Like I said, 30 years since I've been in this country, from a third world country to a booming country, at least in the 2 cities that we visited. We also had some time to go up to see the palaces, which, the cultural history. And this is what's, you see the 2 sides of South Korea. You see the cultural side where these cultural, the cultures are still strong. And then you also see the improved cities and the high tech, which I didn't see when I was here, in a long time ago. So awesome. Just hopefully we can make something happen out of this. But
Well, we're certainly going to work to do that.
yeah, but it's cold. I know a couple of you guys were asking about the weather. 30s to 40s. I think the first day we got here, we got in at night, kind of late. So we basically just came to the hotel, but the first day here was I think comfortable, still cold, but then it
raining.
Then it got cold. Then it
rained.
Yeah, the rain and the wind, really cold. Let's see. Thank you, Mel, for always keeping quiet in your thoughts and helping business. Well, you're welcome. It's like I said, this opportunity, and it didn't cost the county a penny, and it won't cost the county a penny, as far as what comes out of this trip. So my great grandmother brought one of her sons to China and left him there. I gotta go look for him. Bitos is off. Bitos actually was in the military with me, so he can relate. That's why he was talking the Korean talk. So anyway, we'll see. We'll see what happens, and obviously we'll keep you guys updated as we go along. A couple other things going on Oahu. In Hawaii right now. I did want to mention, I still we're going to talk about Hawaiian Airlines. They voted to strike. They did vote to strike. Now,
hopefully it doesn't happen tonight here at Incheon Airport when we're leaving.
We had this discussion probably a month or so ago. It's going to take an approval by the federal government. At the end of the day, President Trump will have to say, okay. It's going to go through a process right now. But I wanted to say is that, and I think Braxton was on the call here. Braxton is a pilot. He's a friend of mine. He's a pilot for Hawaiian Airlines. A lot of people, even Ikaika, I think you heard him say at the beginning of this broadcast, Mel, no stop, look at that. Mel, your favorite. I treasure our Hawaiian Airlines employees. Our flight attendants, ticket agents, the pilots. They all work hard for Hawaiian Air to be successful. And it's frustrating when the flight attendants are getting paid lower than the industry standards, yet they're based in the most expensive city. And the corporate and the Hawaiian Air put out a statement, said, yeah, while we empathize with them, blah blah blah. That frustrates me. Now, like I said, I love the employees. Our flight over here, 11 and a half hours long. Tommy
And the
Waters
best
and
hospitality you can imagine.
they made that flight comfortable. We knew we were safe. So they deserve to be paid what they're worth. Bottom line. Now, Hawaiian Air constantly comes out and brags about their quarterly earnings. And a lot of their earnings come from baggage fees, late fees, change fees, blah, blah, all of that.
They make
And
millions on that.
bro, it's amazing.
But I'm with you, Mel. I mean, I agree that our Hawaiian Airlines employees, from the pilots to the flight attendants to their customer service representatives, they work hard and they're amongst the best in the industry. And for a lot of folks, their vacation doesn't start when they arrive in Hawaii. It starts when they need to pick up the phone to call Hawaiian Airlines regarding their travel plans. Or if they've made all of those arrangements online, their process for them, their vacation starts when they get on that plane. And those are the representatives from Hawaii that they see. And those representatives from Hawaiian Airlines deserve to be compensated. I agree with that.
You remember when
Good people.
when Aloha was still flying and Hawaiian was going through some tough times and their employees had to take pay cuts to keep their jobs, to keep that airplane in the air, they had to take pay cuts. And this goes
Hawaii
back
did
a
too.
lot. Hawaii. I'm talking about Hawaii.
Yeah,
And
I remember those days.
Yeah.
My tutu was a Hawaiian Airlines employee for more than 40 years. And as a kid, I remember talking with my grandfather about the pay cuts that the employees would have to take to keep the airline afloat.
Because of the loyalty. Because of their loyalty to that company. Because it was Hawaiian Airlines. It was our local company. The local people stuck with Hawaiian. They supported Hawaiian. And slowly by slowly, there went the Kama'aina Affair. There went the coupon booklets and all of that. And then it was just, now I don't care if you live in Hawaii. Hey, Radiant, what's up, Radiant?
Hey, how's it, Radiant?
You recognize this guy? And it was just sacrifice from the employees to the customers. And it's frustrating when you see these exorbitant profit reports and these flight attendants who basically just saying, hey, pay us what we're worth, pay us what the industry is paying, and for Hawaiian Air for them to have to get to this, the first time in history that they get through a strike vote, and they all, well, I guess the majority, bottom line is the vote passed, so they can strike. Now it goes to the federal government. Whether or not that happens, that's yet to be seen. But if I'm corporate Hawaiian, I'm sitting around the boardroom saying, hey, we need to avert a strike. Number one, obviously we cannot have a strike. So let's and they said they've been negotiating since 2017, over 2 years, but yet it's ended up in a strike, and while at the same time making a lot of money. So it's just shameful. But to the employees out there, to the pilots, Braxton, all of you guys who the night we arrived, in fact, our crew, we met them in the lobby. We went to go eat and come back, and they were here. We had two pilots. One guy is living in where was he? Oh, I don't know if you were in here, but
no.
He commutes from Atlanta. Asian guy, and then the other guy was from San Diego. But they recognized us from the flight and stopped us in the lobby and hung out for about 20 minutes, just talking story. Hey, what's going on over here? And they didn't have to do that. They could go straight to the elevator and go up to the room. And they took the time to at least talk to us and thank us for flying Hawaiian. So, I get a lot of aloha for Hawaiian Airlines, the employees. Not much aloha for the greedy corporate structure or the sector up there that's making these decisions. Employees are cherry, but corporate is very greedy and not loyal to employees or customers. Now, I probably shouldn't be saying this because I'm on their flight tonight, but it is what it is. Third-party workers want to talk to local agents, not people from other countries. Charge fees suck, change fees suck, can't understand. Yeah, that's the other thing. And I think this agreement was made with the state, I believe, that they took their employees overseas with the commitment that once they got financially stable, they would bring those 200 plus jobs back to Honolulu. That never happened, bro.
See, and that was a department that my tutu managed. My tutu managed reservations and sales.
So where did that commitment go? Where how dare you? 230, I think it was the last, and we've covered that on this as well. Those jobs never came back. And you cannot tell me Hawaiian isn't doing fiscally well right now. That is hell no. So anyway, it's so sad that we need another airlines to come in so we can get decent prices after all the support we gave Hawaiian. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see if, the problem is Hawaiian has such a grip on the routes and the flights. Can Southwest compete with the number of flights? Going home, when I go to California next week for a football team, go Raiders, the Lihui Raiders. Remember Pop Warner? I'm flying Southwest because it was cheaper. But when I get in from California, from LA to Honolulu Airport, there's no Southwest flight to take me to Lihui. So I got to get on a Hawaiian airline. So if you're flying inter-island, you're a business person and you need to make the flights back home, and if you cannot get that done with a Southwest flight, then I think most people will just stick with Hawaiian, for a $10 or $20 fare difference. And that's where I think, Southwest is going to have to increase, and understand they're going to do a gradual increase. But if they don't get a handle on their flights and be truly competitive with Hawaiian Airlines, then it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough, and a lot of people are going to stick with Hawaiian. Same experience.
Hey, aloha, Chris.
Yo, what's up, Chris? Same experience on the flight attendants when we went to Japan. We all stayed at Hyatt Osaka. They noticed us breakfast buffet and took the time. Yeah, absolutely, and that's the difference. That's the difference. That's why these employees definitely deserve their fair share. So anyway, so what else you guys talk about? How's the weather in Kauai and Honolulu? I heard you guys got torn apart. And I hope everybody's okay. I hope nobody got damaged. I hope everybody's all right. Haven't really kept up on the news while I've been here.
Just a huge time difference. It's been a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah, 19 hours. Southwest, $39 one way. Yeah, I mean, I'm flying them to California, and I've flown Southwest before in between cities on the mainland, so I have no problems with them. They got awesome service. And, we'll see how that goes. I know in Kauai today we had a discussion at the county council meeting regarding the landfill. And it appears, I didn't get a chance to go watch the meeting, but it appears that the waste management is pulling out of the landfill, and now the county is going to have to take over. And from what I understand, 3 different options, all very expensive. So, we'll save that for next week, because I want to discuss that only after I educate myself on what happened today at the council meeting. I will say this, though, and we had this discussion with some of the members of the Honolulu delegation about, in Honolulu right now, because of the situation with plastics, and if I'm wrong, please correct me. I've just heard this from your guys, that they're burning the plastics. You got nowhere to send the plastics, but Honolulu has a burn facility. They have an incinerator that burns.
H-Power.
Yeah.
Where our waste is turned into energy.
Yeah. And you guys all know that I've been a very strong proponent of waste to energy. Some technology, not necessarily the same as H3. I don't know. I think it's worthy of it, or an RFI or something that we can go out and solicit possible solutions for our waste problem. But it works well for you guys, right? H-Power.
It does work well for us. Yeah. We've even sent some of our byproducts from sewage sludge to H-Power to be burnt and converted to energy.
Yeah, and you guys just put up a new burner actually not long ago.
A few years ago, we added a 3rd boiler to H-Power, which increased its burn capacity and electricity output.
Yeah, and so and again, I don't want to say too much about the landfill because I haven't watched the meeting, but from my understanding is that the mayor wants to expand the Kekaha life to the next 100 years, and my point is we should not be continuing to rely or utilizing the landfills as our primary source of waste management. We need to start looking at alternatives, because we live on an island, And we cannot continue to take land and dig holes and bury trash. I mean, when you have technologies today that, in fact, that's what here, their sewage system here, their sewage, they convert their sewage to energy here as well. And I can't remember if it's solar in China. That's just the way of the future, and we cannot continue to bury. So
even their solid waste technology here is amazing. That's what I came here to take a look at back in 2015. And they have infrastructure under the city, much like sewage infrastructure, where in parts of Seoul, you take your solid waste in a bag, throw it into a chute, and it gets sucked through pipes under the city, where it then gets deposited into a sealed and secure dumpster, and then gets hauled away later on. I went into the facility where that dumpster receptacle is located, was expecting that whole plant just to stink to high heaven. Not at all.
Yeah, again, their technology.
So then I
here.
figured, well, this plant must be brand new. So I asked my host, when you guys build this thing? A year or two ago. I said, oh, no, this plant is more than 20 years old. So technology in a number of different areas exists here in Korea that can be utilized at home. And maybe not for some of our established communities, because digging up an established community to put in that kind of infrastructure is difficult. But if you're looking at new development, or in particular workforce, affordable housing development that's going to be new, this type of infrastructure can certainly be put in right after the planning stages of a newer development. And then everybody's better off.
Yeah, we need to find alternatives. I guess that's what whether and again, if it's working somewhere else, I have no problem copying. I have no problem taking good ideas and using it for us to improve our way of life. Is Henny your grandma?
Yeah. Yes. So Hanny Anderson is my grandmother.
Okay.
Yes.
My mom was good friends with her two canoe paddling officials, Francine Grace. Pretty cool, huh?
Aloha, Francine. My tutu has slowed down a bit in recent years regarding canoe paddling. That was always her first love, though. But yes, she spent more than 40 years at Hawaiian Air. Loved it.
Awesome. So we'll follow up on that during the next week, and next week Wednesday on our Facebook Live we'll have a discussion on the landfill situation on Kauai. I think that is one, and I've stated for most of my career on the county council. In fact, in my first run, they asked me what was my top CIP project, and I said we need to find an alternative to the landfill, and that was before I even knew much about what was going on. And this is now 14, 15 years later, and we still don't have a new landfill. We still don't have any answer to the problems. Now the county is going to take over Kekaha. I have some concerns. I am very concerned that we don't have enough time before that landfill fills up. And now we've taken the ownership and the management of that landfill, and we're going to bring it under the county. What is that ultimate cost? I don't know. And that's the questions that I'm going to ask this week, and we'll hopefully have the answers next week Wednesday. Awesome. I had, hang on real quick, because there was another thing. Hold on, guys. I just got to check my notes over here. Oh, yeah. I don't know if you want to comment on this, Ikaika, because this is kind of fresh. The Honolulu prosecutor was just served a subpoena by the federal government.
Just heard about that.
Yeah, it just came out.
My staff sent me that headline from the Honolulu Star Advertiser. I haven't had an opportunity to read the story.
Well, I read it, and basically Naramoto is his name?
Yes, Naramoto.
He stepped in since Keith Kaneshiro
came out of retirement, since Keith Kaneshiro's been on leave.
So Keith went on leave in March. This guy takes over. Keith's on paid leave. Remember that it's all that federal corruption probe. Keith gets person of interest or whatever. He gets his subpoena. So he's on paid leave.
He got a target letter. From the FBI.
And now Mr. Naramoto, who took his place temporarily or is acting, gets served with a federal subpoena. He doesn't know why. Obviously, the subpoena doesn't say. Subpoena says you report here on a date and time, and you're going to ask him a ton of questions. Now, I mean, he's an attorney. I'm sure he can figure it out. My speculation is that it's regarding the federal corruption probe involving the Kealoas. And it's not over, I guess is my point. Yeah, this whole corruption probe is not over. The Kealoha's got sentenced. And I believe, the sentence was relatively lenient. I'm not sure what they did to get that lenient sentence. Yeah, did they cooperate or not? But dozens, according to article today, there were dozens of employees at the prosecutor's office that got questioned, that got interviewed by the feds. Yeah. So it's not over, I guess is my point, which it's far from
not
over.
over, not even close to being
over. And the feds dig deep, and it may take 3, 4, 5, 6 years. But I think when it's all said and done, I think a lot of people are going to be surprised with what they find. And it's just unfortunate we got to go through that.
It is.
It's unfortunate. But
we do need to pay close attention to this process. And we can't just forget it and let it go, because we need to ensure that it never, ever happens again. That's what's really important, is the government needs to learn from this experience. And it's unfortunate we need to learn from it in this way by going through it. But in so doing, we need to ensure that this never happens again.
Yeah. And again, unfortunate, but you gotta go through it. And again, we learn from our mistakes, then it's I won't say it's worth it, but it's you just gotta learn from it. I have to run, but thank you both so much for your hard work here in home and abroad. You're aggregating a lot of great resource relationships and bringing them to bear for our community. Thanks, Susan. Thank you very much. And we should chat as well. Catherine is talking like crazy to wiggle out of her mess. How did taxpayers get stuck with Kealoha's tab for their defense? Oh, I'm referring to Keith Ikaika. Okay, hold on. Catherine is. Oh, yeah. This is the only thing with this, because you get the comments show up at all kinds of times. So, how did taxpayers get stuck with Kealoha's tab for their defense? Did they get stuck with them?
Taxpayers paid for some of his defense.
Oh, the chief. She's talking about the chief.
With Kealoha. Now,
yeah.
when the Honolulu City Council had discussions about Chief Kealoha's legal defense, the police commission felt that because he was an employee of the city and county of Honolulu at the time that this occurred, and it had to do with, at the time, allegations, because he wasn't proven guilty yet, of misdoing in his role and capacity as police chief, that the chief was entitled to legal representation from the city. I didn't agree with that, primarily because to me, when the chief made the decision to break the law, then the taxpayers were not obligated to represent him from that point, in my personal opinion. And that's why at that time I voted against paying for former Chief Kealoha's legal fees. Just like with me as a Honolulu City Council member, if I'm accused of wrongdoing, yes, I believe that I should have legal representation with me, provided by the city, if I'm accused of doing something wrong in my capacity as a city council member, to defend myself. But let's say I'm accused of taking a bribe from someone who came into my Honolulu City Council office and offered me something in exchange for a vote. I don't believe the taxpayers should be obligated to pay for my legal defense in that manner. At that point, I've made the decision to break the law. And if I should do that, then that should be on me for my legal representation. I felt the same thing with the chief in that instance. Once he'd gone over and stepped over that line, he made that decision. He was on his own as far as I was concerned.
We, in my time on the council, we've represented employees for wrongdoing, and I have a problem with that. But by law, we require they're an employee. Like that's exactly what Ikaika said. That when it is proven, and I understand that Kealoha, I think the commission said or he whatever. If
the commission has a lot of power too, though. In this whole thing.
Even on Kauai,
because the police commission, without the Honolulu City Council, approved Chief Kealoha's settlement of $250,000. And the Honolulu City Council told the police commission in no uncertain terms that we not only were we absolutely opposed to that settlement being offered, but that we felt it should be rescinded. And the then city council chairman sent a letter to the then police commission chair asking that the police commission chair brief the city council in executive session as to how the police commission arrived at their decision to award that settlement to Chief Kealoha. And the police commission chair refused the council chair's request.
Yeah, and it's the structure on Kauai is similar. The police commission really, and we went through that on Kauai. You guys all remember that the lawsuit, the court ruling that validated the commission's position that they in fact manage the police chief and not the mayor, and that was just that was far-reaching as well. But that's just the way our charter is written. I'm not speaking for Honolulu. It's just how the Kauai County Charter is written, and the court agreed with the police commission. So,
well, if Mayor Caldwell wanted to dismiss the police chief in that instance, say he couldn't have.
Oh yeah, so
even if he
similar.
wanted to.
So it is similar. Yeah.
Yes.
Commission appoints and fires, right?
Correct.
Okay. So,
and the commission had given Chief Kealoha stellar, glowing reviews, performance reviews, and evaluations. So if you looked at the police commission evaluations and performance reviews and analysis, you wouldn't have come to the conclusion that the chief should be terminated based on any of that, because the police commission was very happy with their chief at that point in time.
Yeah. Well, it's just, again, unfortunate. That's the wonderful thing about being able to share what's going on. Honolulu is a big city. It is, obviously we cannot compare ourselves to Honolulu, whether it's the bus, whether it's traffic. We're two independent individual counties that just operate differently. But there are a lot of things that we can learn from each other, and I think we got to do more of that. I was chatting with your chief of staff that, with Alan. Your what is that?
Alan is my deputy chief.
The deputy chief of staff, Alan Teixeira. Ikaika terms out next year, 2022.
2020.
2020. Oh yeah, okay. So the next, Alan Teixeira is going to be running to take Ikaika's vacant seat.
So I'm termed out of office.
I like your guests, and you should have more guests on this show. See, I knew my ratings would increase with Ikaika. But anyway, so Alan Teixeira, great guy. But we were chatting.
Awesome guy.
Yeah, and if you guys, Windward Side, Kailua Kaneohe, what's your complete district?
My city council district covers Windward, Oahu.
So with all of you
Wainanalo,
guys,
Kailua, Kaneohe, and Ahui Manu, right up to Kahaluu.
so just remember, you get friends, family up on the Windward Side. Alan Teixeira.
It'll be an open seat, so it'll likely be hotly contested.
Yeah.
I am supporting Alan in his bid to succeed me. He's a lifelong Windward resident, public high school graduate, Kailua High School. Put himself through college at the University of Hawaii at Manoa. Went to look for grants. He would apply for student aid, but he did all those things on his own, and would be a wonderful opportunity for the people of Windward, Oahu to have Alan serve them if he's fortunate enough to get elected.
Hey, here, see, my family supports him. Awesome. See, that's the beauty of this. In Cummings Hanawahine. You familiar with the name?
The Hanawahine family, I do know.
So anyway,
Yes.
Alan Teixeira. But
Mahalo, Sher.
we were talking yesterday about the importance of the state association, where the four counties, Kaka and I have been on the state association for a long time, and bottom line is we find what works or what's consistent for all counties, what can benefit all four counties, and the state association must work hard with the legislature to make these things happen, and that has to be. I saw Councilmember Chalk on here. And thanks, Mason, for jumping on.
Hey,
I know
aloha, Mason.
but that's critical part of the Hawaii state government and the counties is having the State Association of Counties along with the State Association of Mayors or Conference of Mayors and the legislative bodies to work together. But with the Hawaii State Association of Counties uniting and being a one solid, strong voice for the needs of all four counties is powerful. And that's what we got to focus on going forward. So we are wrapping up. We got about 4 minutes left. Ikaika, I'm not gonna. I don't want to put you on the spot, but what the heck you gonna do, man? Politically, are you ready to talk about, or at some point you're gonna?
Well, I was planning to run for Honolulu mayor. We started our fundraising. We put together a solid team. But about a year ago is when I really started having second thoughts about that. And the reason being, I have 4 kids at home, and my twins are only 9 years old. And I felt that a campaign for mayor would take me away from them for more time than I'd be willing to take away from them. And if I got elected, I'm the chief executive of a city of nearly 1 million people in Honolulu. So I don't believe that being an elected executive at this point is right for my family. So we'd done pretty well fundraising up until that point, but it was just the grueling campaign. For at that time would have been 2 years, and then serving a term of 4 years after that. My state senator has since announced that she is not running for re-election. That's the same state senate seat that my grandfather, Whitney Anderson, held a number of years ago. So I am weighing a potential bid for the state senate. I haven't yet determined whether I'm going to run or not. I'll have some discussions with my wife, Lisa, and our kids, and my grandfather as well. And I plan to make a decision by the end of the year on that. But I do feel I could serve as a lawmaker, but being an elected executive at this point would be really tough on my family.
Well, whatever you decide, brother, you get my support. That's automatic. I mean, I think, I know this guy a long time. Again, it comes down to the heart. And if you have a heart to serve, who cares about the title? You think family first. Somebody said family first. Larry Arruda said run for legislature. I think it's important that we get the right people. So Mason Chalk, aloha again, Mason. I like this one here. Ikaika should come to Kauai for a talk story with you. I would pay to go.
That would be fun.
Let's go.
That would be fun.
We started off the show talking about the business connections with the South Korean government, and we'll basically end with that. We will be setting up something. Ikaika will definitely be there along with.
Would love to. Well, my wife and I love Kauai.
Yeah,
some years back, I took her on a surprise Valentine's Day trip to Kauai, and we have wonderful memories there. So.
Was really surprised.
And the opportunity to visit Kauai.
You must have lost my number. You must have been a real big surprise because you lost my number.
This was before I was even on the council.
Oh, okay, that's a long time ago. So
this
anyway,
was a while back.
All the way from Incheon, South Korea. I want to thank you for joining us today, taking time out of your day. I know it's every week, and I told you guys, as long as you guys are willing to listen, I'm willing to share. So until next week. Take care, you guys. God bless. We love you guys. Stay safe, and we'll see you back home.
Aloha.
Aloha.